we all kind of came up with the harmony and layer ideas, and he even threw a couple guitar parts in. And then, once the finished product comes out, we've heard it so many times in the studios and really come to love kind of some of these new parts that most of the ideas we figure out some way to get in. Like, definitely the harmonies, like, some of those harmonies that I did in the studio myself, the other guys do live.
Right.
And, we can't really have two guitar parts, that layering doesn't work, but, I've always been, I always have like a big, like 412, like I have an orange 412 amp, and I used to have like a Mesa 412, really big, kind of wide, warm sound. So
yeah.
It's actually been kind of a comment we get after shows. They're like, wow, I kind of can't believe you guys are a three-piece.
Oh, because your sound is big?
That's what people say. I mean, I guess we never really know since we're not in the audience, but, it feels good on stage.
Yeah, you say you can't do two guitars. I mean, have you explored, you can't not, you can do anything these days with triggered samples. And, I heard a demo from a podcast I listened to of this new harmony pedal or the device that will harmonize the voice according to key. I mean, it was uncanny. You could hardly believe it was just a lead voice with harmonics around it. So have you ever messed with anything like that?
Yeah, I've played around with them a little bit. I think, that kind of, speaks to our a little bit of punkishness where I don't necessarily want to do too much fake stuff on stage. No, not fake. I don't mean to label it that way because, I'm into all sorts of music that, there aren't any actual, traditional instruments in. So, I'm into, I don't, just for this band, I think when we just get out, where we move around, we jump around on stage a lot. Our shirts are all sweated out by the end. So, we put a lot of energy, and it's not as so. Some of the mellower songs is a little bit more touch and a little more, lightness to them on stage. But we typically in our live shows we play more of our kind of louder, faster stuff. So,
right, so you can get away on energy and a big amp sound.
Yeah, I've already got more pedals than I should. For the kind of stuff that we're playing, like in my opinion, because I'm like. I don't want to have to do too much. I'd love to just be able to get up there with a guitar and a mic and sing, but to make some of the stuff that we do on the recording happen, I have to hop and skip around to hit some of the pedals.
Right.
Actually, when we first started, I had a delay pedal that I would hook up, and I would have the sound, the sound guy hook it up so I could actually do some effects on my vocals while I was singing. And then, like I said, I was just I was doing acrobatics up there trying to do effects on guitar and vocals and sing and play the guitar at the same time.
Yeah. So, that's crazy. You need
Go ahead, sir.
No, you need a guy in the background to manage all that gear and live,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have, the Mars Volta, those guys have the sound morpher guy, and that's what he does. He just takes the stuff that comes out of the vocals and some, keys and guitars, and he swirls them all around.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the original guy, I think he passed away, but I think they've got a new guy who does that stuff.
That's funny. I went to grad school for music, among all things, and I remember that there was a guy who was all into performance, improvised electronic performance. So he did, his computer set up, and he does absolutely nutty things live, real time.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool if to have that kind of position, but anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Pardon me. So I have a couple of specific questions, only because I listen to a bunch of your songs, and I maybe you get a kick out of hearing what I hear, because I'm a musician, and I always I can never tell my own what my influences are. It's almost like a baby who you can't tell your own resemblance in because you're too close. You need someone else's opinion.
Right.
So I was, when I was hearing the metal sections, I was hearing System of a Down. Are you fans of them at all?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's great. I mean, it wasn't obvious, so don't take it like you're wearing it on your sleeve. It's just I love that band too, and I heard that definitely in there. The vocal, you have a funny. Well, it's not funny. It's a good kind of mix of kind of a poppy style with a bit roughness, So it's almost like a punk Simon Le Bon that guy from Duran.
Duran. I like that.
I thought you'd like that. And but overall, I think the most common element I hear is the kind of symphonic textures with all that overlaying and the big, I guess it's the big guitar sound with the kind of more personal and emotive lyrics than you usually hear with most prog. So that struck me more like Radiohead or even The Who maybe. But anyway.
Okay, cool.
But lastly, this one song, I think it's called Make My Day. Do you have a song called? Yeah. That thing is weird. I mean, only Zappa can compare to that. So where did that song come from? What's it all about?
That's actually our original bass player, who's no longer in the band, but still a friend who's around. He wrote that totally. He wrote everything about it, like apart from the band, and kind of brought it to us. And then, when we were when we were recording it, we definitely were like, let's really weird this one out. And we recorded that. That was our first album. We recorded that at like a private school up in New Hampshire, like in the woods of New Hampshire, and we actually got to use the theater that the kids would put on shows, and it was like this old 150-year-old theater that they claimed was haunted or something. So
wow.
we were really trying to get the vibe of that place, and they had a electric piano thing there that had all these weird sound effects, and we actually recorded all the sound effects that were on this old synthesizer thing, and we kind of messed with that stuff when we when we took it back to the studio.
That's cool. Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's anyway. This is a weird song. It was wasn't too far out of left field, but it struck me. And the another thing I noted down, which is always worth noting, is a double kick that would put Neil Peart to shame. So everyone was always saying Neil Peart's the greatest, and this is a Rush site, so I got to give a nod to your drummer. It seems he's maybe part of a late crop of drummers who just have the technique, at least with the feet, but also with the hands. It's just sick. I mean, the level of skill in most, hardcore or metal or prog drummers these days is incredible. So,
yeah,
saying here's another guy that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll make sure Cracker knows about that. He's actually right before our band, he was in a metal band, and they had a lot of double kick. And then before that, he was playing jazz. So you definitely hear jazz and metal kind of combined in his style for sure.
Yeah, those are the two techniques to go for if you're going to go for it.
Yeah,
you can do any. It's like a history degree. You can do anything with it.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I can play tone low wild thing on the drums, but that's about it. I can't do any of this crazy.
That's a good one. That was probably sampled from some similarly lame, rock song. What was it? and wild. Oh, it's Wild Thing.
Yeah, I think that is where it came from.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves there, Andy. Cool. This has been great talking to you. Where can the people find you online?
TheVitalMite.com is the best spot, and then that kind of links out to, Facebook and MySpace and YouTube and Pure Volume and all that stuff.
Cool. Do you have any shows or anything else specific people should know about?
Yeah, we've got a couple shows in September. We have one in Boston on September 17th at the Middle East.
Oh, cool.
And then the next night, Saturday, September 18th at Kenny's Castaways in New York City.
Cool. I'll put that on my calendar, see if I can make it. I live in the South Shore, so you and I are locals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. Again, refer to bandslikerush.com for links to the band's music. We're going to close with another full track from the band's last album this time, called Make My Day. See ya.
alarm as the two glances meet with death watching. No work for the man in black today. His lights change, the mechanical dance plays. Until metal partner misses a step. Until metal partner misses a step. Until metal partner misses a step with death watching. The nonsense of freedom, it makes my day. This action portal roller coaster covered in chrome as the night slides past my